Okay, so in this video, we'll see about string calculations and number calculations and working with dates, date type of variables, right? So we'll see all of those three things in this session. So first of all, if we define string variables or number variables, so there might be some functions that supports only for a specific data type. For other data types, it might not support. So 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 before doing that, right, we need to evaluate the data type, and then so based on that, we need to apply the specific functions. So now first we'll go through this few examples with strings. Let's say like if you want to compare uh, one string with another string. Okay. So in string one, we need to find out the value of string two. So then we can use this contain function and we can pass the set value, and we can pass the actual value. Suppose so the string one is the uh, like maybe let's say we are passing this value email. So in this, I'm checking whether it's a Outlook or not. Okay. So string one, I'm taking an email, and in string two, I'm checking it with Outlook. If if this email contains Outlook, then it returns, and then it will go into the loop. Okay, and then it prints this value. So like this, we can use contains function, and also we have ends with starts with. So email address starts with. So this will return a Boolean return value. Means it will return uh, either true or false based on the email address value. And we have left right functions. So if we use left of 11, right? So it will return this 11 characters. So we'll get this value as a result. So right means it will take right values from right side. So this is the uh, like count, means whatever length we specify here. So that much will be selected. And similarly, we have uppercase, lowercase functions as well. So if we use uppercase of username, which is a lowercase, right? So it will return like this. And if you want to concatenate two strings, so we can use plus symbol. Okay. So we can use string one plus, and in between, if you want to separate with some comma or space, so we can place that, and then we can put one more variable, so that email will give the concatenated result. So this is one way, and another way is using dollar symbol. So using dollar symbol, we can insert a variable, comma, and another variable. So as per Oracle best practice method, so this is the efficient way to concatenate, not with a plus. Okay, so then we have substring after substring before. So what the example for this? Suppose if my response, suppose this is the REST response. Okay. Okay, so this is the REST response. The REST, suppose if we call a REST web service, and finally, in this variable, the result we are storing. So, so this will return something like this. So status, uh, let's say it will return like this: completed or success. So this is a map. So this it will this response code will store in like this map. So here, so to compare, right? So this status, I wanted to compare like this. If finally I want to compare like this, status equal to success. So I don't want this. So since this is a map, right? So one way is, since it is a list. So one way to check this is through contains function. So we can use one more function, but in sometimes this uh, if this in this string method, if you want to remove this brackets, okay, square brackets, so what we can do is substring before. So before this value and after this value. So that is what this meaning is: of substring before the square bracket. So that is this one. So before this value, whatever value before this, it will take, and then substring after square bracket starting. So it takes only success value in the status. So, and with that we can check in our conditions. So again, these are some string functions. I'll go through each and everything. So, and next one is uh, with a long text fields. So if we have some long text fields, so if you want to take some 30 characters, so we can use this function. We need to convert to string, and then we need to take 30 characters from it, and then replace all function. So we can use something like, if in a phone number field, if any characters entered, like text values, so we can remove all that using a regular expression. So this argument is a regular expression. So where we can define the regular expression, and based on that, so whatever values uh, that finds using this regular expression, right, it will be replaced with null. And then string replacement. So this is replace all using an expression. Um, so same way we have replace also. So this also works same way. So we can replace with a uh, uh, so this is using regular expression, but this is using a string. So replace all, we are using a regular expression, but here, so this is a string value. So from this string, so we are removing this, and we are adding uh, this tag, break tag. So in scenario 2 is again same. The above one we have seen, right? So the same way, this scenario, this function also, the same function. So like this, we have a few other functions as well. So we'll go through the application and then we'll see other uh, functions. I'm going to instance, and if you go to any of the script palette, right? So here we have a function palette, and then we have a functions. So here we have a string functions, number functions, and date functions. So if we click uh, text functions, so it will list down all the functions available or supports for text fields or text data types. If we click on any of the function, so below it gives some sample scripts to use this particular function. So we can refer this and find same way. So this is to find the occurrence uh, based on the position. Then ends with left is length to find the to find the string length. Right function starts with uppercase, lowercase, substring before, substring after. We have seen NVL. So this is to check uh, if some value is null, so we can default with another value. Okay, suppose here in string one we are getting some null value. So if we want to default some value when the string one is null, so we can put that uh, default value here, and some encoding functions. So this supports. So this encode functions will be used in suppose like when we work with long text fields in REST API. So in REST API for long text fields, it doesn't accept hello world directly. So we need to convert it to base 64, and then we need to pass for long text fields. Also, uh, while working with attachments, attachment content need to be passed with encoding to base 64. And then to decode again, so we need to use decode to base 64. So these are all the functions that supports text data type. So then if we go to number, so so we'll come to the screen. So like any other programming language, so we have it supports all the arithmetic calculations. So we can use plus, minus, plus divided by multiplications. So everything we can use percentage, all these things. And then we have a round function to round off any decimal values. So if we just use round function, uh, it will it will completely round to the nearest value. So, and if we have a double like this, and if you want to uh, give a specific uh, decimal points to limit to 2 decimal points, so we can use round of the number of values we want after decimal point. In case if it is a string, but we still need to uh, round off, or means we still need to uh, limit the decimal values, right? So in string, we can use this function. string dot format of percentage dot 2f double value. So here, this is the double value. So we can take this double value, and percentage dot 2f means here 2 means 2 decimals. If we use 3, 3 decimal values. So it gives with 3 decimal values in the rounded value. So these are the few number calculations, and we'll go to the application, and here we'll see some other functions. So these functions specific to Oracle Fusion Sales Cloud Groovy. And how do we find average, right? So we have something like an opportunity, we have a revenue, right? So if you want to find out total amount in the revenue lines, so we can use sum or max or min, so whatever values. So if you want to take some uh, child object sum, right? So this is the way you to use. So we need to select first the function, uh, and then insert, and then so if we click on email, suppose if you want to count email number of emails, right? So what we can do, we need to select email, and then select some key value here. Select maybe email address, and then once you select, you just need to return it. Yeah, so it returned. So email is the collection name dot sum of email address. So this will give sum of email address, or if it is a count, right? If you want, if it is a email address, will not be proper one to take sum. Maybe something like amount field, right? So in opportunity revenue, so there we can use sum, and here we can use something like count, email count. So it gives some count of a related object or collection. So then we have date fields, date data types. So by default, now we'll give the current time, system time, and today in Groovy, today will give the current date, today's date. And if you want to extract year uh, from a date or string, so this is the function year of, and then we can, if we insert some date field uh, or a string, so it will extract the date. And similarly, month, date, day, yeah, year, month, day, we can extract from a string or date. So, and the data types, right? So data type we can define as a date or date time for this. So this date or date time will be used to form a date. Okay, so to form a date, so we can give year, month, day as an input. So it returns a date, date value. And if we give hour, minute also, then it will give in the date time format, timestamp format. So for all these examples, we can see here how it can be used. And few other examples related to dates is so if you want to add some days to uh, creation date, right? Directly we can use date field plus 3. So it gives 3 days plus date. Okay, so if this is a date time field, it gives it just adds uh, 24 hours to that. Okay, like that. So and similarly calculations like minus, if we do submit date -7, so the previous that submitted date before 7 days, that will be stored in this variable. And one calculation that we have is so in date with date time fields we can do these calculations. Suppose if you want to find a difference between two dates, okay, two dates or date time fields. So here we are taking the current time now and the one date time field. So if you want to take the difference between these two, uh, so we can use this script. So basically we are using calendar function here. No, we are directly we are converting this date time to milliseconds. So get time function will convert date time into milliseconds. Okay, so here also we are converting basically time into milliseconds, total milliseconds, and then uh, we are we are taking the difference. So then we will get one milliseconds value, right? And that we are converting, and then we are uh, that milliseconds value we are converting to uh, seconds and then minutes. So the key logic here is this one. So we are converting time into milliseconds, and we are taking difference, and then we are again converting it to minutes. So these are all the few calculations related to string, date, and numbers.